It was, wow. When that neighbor saved this child, and that child saved himself by getting out of there. That brings us to the next question in our investigation. It's about looking forward and moving forward here. Can this family be repaired? Obviously, Ruby's going to be spending a lot of time in prison, but you've got all these siblings, you've got a father. Can they be repaired? Joining me, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert, witness, author, and columnist, Dr. Carol Lieberman, who I know is out in LA, one of the victims of all these fires. Our thoughts are with you, Dr. Lieberman, and we appreciate you coming on tonight. Can this family be repaired?
Well, you know, as a psychiatrist, I always want to feel, and I have seen it happen, that people, even undergoing the most horrible circumstances, can be repaired with a lot of therapy. Now, in this case, you know, she has done such damage to her children. Besides the physical, I mean, it's much more psychological than physical in terms of trying to heal. You know, it was so interesting to hear that man, the neighbor, talk. He was just looking at this boy, and he was so touched by it. You could tell how, you know, what the boy must have looked like just from his voice. The boy, her son, said, "It's my fault." You know, a little later on in the call, he was blaming himself, and that she has made these kids blame themselves for all kinds of things, for her, you know, her abuse. And so, just first of all, to start off, the first thing would be to get Ruby to promise and to prove that she's not in contact anymore with Jody. You know, that's the first thing, because Jody, of course, has been a terrible, terrible influence. And then, you know, we can tell how hard it's going to be to heal by looking at Shari, the eldest daughter, who has just written a book, In My Mother's House, The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom. And she has talked about how she hasn't forgiven her mother, and she doesn't want to be connected to her mother. She doesn't want to talk to her mother. She said that her mother wrote her a letter, but she hasn't really responded, and she's not ready to try to make up. And she went to college, and she has had therapy. So that kind of shows you that it would take a lot more therapy for the rest of the family. Now, of course, the number one person who needs therapy is Jody. And, Jody, yes, that's true. But Ruby also, before the family can get together. You know, you can tell from how she projected things of herself onto these children. You can tell just how mentally ill, you know, which severe psychological problems that Ruby has. And so she needs a ton of therapy, first for herself, before she could even consider having family therapy or individual therapy one-on-one. I mean, the two of them, her and a child. The children are fortunate, however, that they have a father who is loving. And that will be the most positive part of their reunification.
Yeah, I think that's so important. Dr. Carol Lieberman, great to see you. And again, we're sending our thoughts with you and hope you're able to make it through all this. We appreciate it. The Ruby Franke story is a story the rest of the world of momfluencers should learn from. Understand boundaries, understand your children are children, and at the end of the day, the well-being of the kids is infinitely more important than views. I think most mom influencers understand that. We just need all of them to understand that so we don't have any more Ruby Frankes. I'm Vinnie Politan. We'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.